Thinking ahead of Sutton. Goes back to pass. Throws long. Down to the left side to Zeno. Coleman. Zeno has it down the far side. He goes to the 2-yard line. And he's pulled down to 2. Great catch by Coleman Zeno.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's watched my video, or maybe subscribed to my channel, or maybe give my videos a thumbs up, or maybe left a comment, or anything at all you can do to help me and my channel get up off the ground. I greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much. I saw on an article from CBS Sports, and they were they were ranking all 8 of the divisions, and the article says 2021 NFL divisional power rankings. NFC West takes the top spot. The Cowboys in the basement with the rest of the NFC East. What I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description box. I'll leave a link to this story so you can check it out if you want to. But yeah, they were they were going over all 8 of the divisions, ranking them all, and yeah, the NFC East, no surprise, came in last. They got here. I'm not sure what rock bottom is in the NFL, but the NFC East was definitely trying to find out last season. The division, the NFC East, was so bad in 2020 that even the NFC East fans were willing to admit that their favorite division was horrible. And yeah, I guess, it's true, I said I try not to really read it, too much into I see really negative titles. Like sometimes I'll just see some things that just totally ridiculous. Like I don't even know who it was, whether it was a guy or or a group of people, whatever it was, but there was an article, one that said Kadarius Toney was already labeled as a bust. I mean, I'm like, just some ridiculous, silly stuff. I don't bother paying attention. I don't know, who wrote it. I don't know what's in there. I just read the title real fast, and I'm like, I don't even bother. But, you know what I mean? Sometimes, the negativity, it's true. I mean, they label the NFC East as, the worst out of all 8. Yeah. Okay. When not one of the teams has a winning record, yeah, you're the worst. In this order, number 1, was obviously the NFC West. Right. Number 2 is the AFC North, and number 3 was the AFC West. The AFC East is number 4. NFC South is number 5. NFC North is number 6. The AFC South is number 7, and the NFC East is number 8. The NFC East last year, they're out of the division. The games that they played out of their own division, their record in 2020 was 10, 29, and 1. They were 1-3 versus the NFC North. They were 2-2 versus the NFC South. They were 4-12 versus the NFC West. And they were 4-11-1 versus the AFC North. That the 10, 29, and 1, which was tied with the 2014 NFC South for the worst of all time. Since we went to 4 divisions in each conference, that was tied for the worst of all time. The overall record for the NFC East, as a whole, they finished 23-40-1, which was the second worst overall record for a division behind only the 2008 NFC West, which they were 22-42. So we were almost historically horrible last year. If you think about it, and I give credit to the Eagles. All right, I can't stand them, but it's just hate built up over, but it's respectful kind of hate. Okay, I'm happy they're in the NFC East. I hate the Cowboys. I'm happy they're in the NFC East, and the Washington football team. hate them. I'm glad they're in the NFC East. So, I mean, so it's a respectful hate. But I want to give credit to the Eagles where credit's due. The Eagles last year, the last game of the season, they wanted to win the football game. None of those players went out there, let's kind of throw this one. Let's get a better draft pick. No, they wanted to play. It was up to Doug Peterson. He was the one that pulled Jalen Hurts out, which kind of, made it a lot more difficult for the Eagles to try to win that football game. Certainly not to say that the Eagles would have won the game, but they would have had a better chance if they kept Jalen Hurts in there. It was Doug Peterson, and he got what he deserved. He got canned. He embarrassed himself, and he got canned. I give the Eagles credit. They wanted to play, all right? Now, but could you imagine, 7-9 is bad enough, but could you imagine if the Eagles came back and beat the Washington football team? The Giants would have won, right, and hosted a playoff game, and it would have been 6-10. Do you know how unbelievably pathetic that is? In the long run, it's best for the Giants. We got the better draft choice. Then we traded with the Bears, all right? We got Kadarius Toney. Next year we got two number ones, all right? So we got 2 number 3s. We got 2 number 4s. So in the long run, it worked out best for the Giants, But obviously, as I said, the Washington football team was 7-9. The Giants were 6-10. The Cowboys were 6-10. The Eagles were 4-11-1. You realize there was 13 teams in the NFL that had winning records. 13. No, not one was from the NFC East. Phew, man, it's bad. Now, it's rightfully so. You look at the Eagles, all right, especially this year coming up. They got the new coach, Nick Sirianni. Hey, he could be the next Bill Belichick. Kind of doubt it. Nobody really knows, what he might do. It's kind of like with Joe Judge. He came in, he has his, where he's the stops where he's been. We know he's been a coach doing this, coach doing that and all, but what can he do as a head coach? We didn't know last year. Nick Sirianni, what's he going to do this year? Nobody has any idea. The Eagles got a lot of draft choices. I like their draft choices. I love Landon Dickerson, the center from Alabama. Hopefully his health hangs in there. But he was a good pick there, and of course DeVonta Smith. You can't argue with that. Plus, they had a lot of other draft picks too. So I like what they did in the draft. But the biggest concern for them is Jalen Hurts. I'm just specifically saying like this year. Okay, so what if he doesn't work out? He didn't really light it on fire last year. Okay, what if he kind of does about the same this year? What are you going to turn to? Are you going to turn to Nick Mullins? Going to turn to Joe Flacco? Next year they have some draft picks next year. If they need be to get a quarterback, they can trade up some of their draft capital and drop down. Especially if they do pay it again. If they're picking in the top 10, they take another pick or so, and they can get up even farther. They can get themselves a pretty good quarterback. But that's next year. I'm saying, what about this year? They got some question marks. There's certainly some question marks. Just because they added some nice, guys in the draft, they're going to go from 4-11-1 to 11-6. I don't see that happening. Then we got the Cowboys. Yeah, Dak is back. But let's not forget, when Dak was healthy and he played, Dak was 1-3. Okay? Well, it wasn't really his fault. Of course, a lot of it was the defense who gave up 473 points. He gave up 29.5 points a game last year. Oh, my God. Absolutely pathetic. They added a lot of defensive players through the draft. Got to give them credit there. But, you're going to go from 29.5 points a game and just throw a different bunch of guys in there and all of a sudden, be a top 10, 15 defense? Right? Their offensive line is getting another year older. Dak is back, absolutely, but man, that's a nasty injury. Are we sure that he's going to come back? Are we sure he's going to be the same Dak as usual? Then we got Zeke. I'll tell you what, I wasn't seeing a lot of this last year from Zeke. Huh? I didn't see a lot of that last year. You know what I did see? I saw a lot of fumbles. Zeke, is still good quality running back, but he's getting some mileage on those treads. He's not quite the same guy as he used to be. And let's not forget, I mean, you got Cooper, you got ABCD Lamb, and then you got Gallup. Well, I don't know if they're going to be able to sign Gallup after this year, so their receiving core might take a little hit. So I mean, they got some question marks. All right, and Mike McCarthy, I'm not a big fan. He did good in the past with the Packers, but he did good in the past with the Packers with two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. So you take those guys out of the equation, what can he do? You see he lost Dak last year, and what did he do? He was 6-10. Not very impressive. Then we go to Washington, the Washington football team. All right, now, because they got a great defense, and I love Ron Rivera, great coach, all right? But, their most important position, in all football is the quarterback. I love Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Fitzmagic, all right? He can play on my team anytime. Especially I would love to have him as a backup coming off the bench. But, he's going to be 39 this year during the season, all right? This will be his 9th football team he's been on, all right? He's never been to the playoffs, and he has 30 less wins than he does losses, okay? So, and there's a reason why he's been on 9 different teams, right? And he's usually, a lot of times, sometimes he winds up being a backup, all right? So you're gonna ride your whole. I mean, last year they had some problem. Quarterback was not stellar, so now you take. Going to take a flyer on a 39-year-old quarterback this year. I mean, how long is he going to be there with you? I mean, they got to get, you got to get settled at your quarterback position, and the Washington football team or not. I mean, what's he going to be there for, a year, maybe 2? I mean, one of these days, his performance is going to probably just fall off the cliff. I mean, he's getting up there, we'll see. I mean, the defense they got is going to keep him in a lot of games. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, he can throw you into a game. He can also throw you out of a game. All right. I remember I said this before in one of my videos. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but the Jets had to win the last football game of the season. They went into Kansas City. They won the game. They were in the playoffs. Well, what does Ryan Fitzpatrick do? He throws for 6 interceptions, right? He threw him into the playoff race, and then he threw him out of it. So they got question marks, all right? I mean, I'm sure they'll probably be as good as they were last year, quite possibly a little bit better, right? But they still got some question marks. And then, of course, we come to the Giants. Lord knows we got some question marks. What's Saquon's health going to be like? Can Daniel Jones, step up a little bit? I mean, we added some weapons. All right, can he make the jump? I mean, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions his first year. Then he went to 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions his second year. He cut down on the turnovers his second year, which is good. But we added the weapons. Can he make the jump? Then of course the biggest question is our offensive line. We lost our best guy. We lost Kevin Zeitler. We really didn't add much to our offensive line. Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge got a lot of, they think a lot of their offensive line, but not many other people do. So, how they going to hold up? All right. So we love Joe Judge, absolutely love. I don't know any Giants fans that really don't love Joe Judge, right? But it's kind of what have you done for me lately? And last year we were 6-10, right? So he's got some proving to do as well too. I mean, we can't, I mean, Dave Gettleman, this is this is his last shot. I mean, if we go 6-10 again this year, right? If we go 6-10 again this year, Daniel Jones, what I mean? So and then if we go 6-10 again this year with all we added, all the money we spent, Joe Judge is going to be on a hot seat next year. So I mean, the Giants, the Giants should be better, but they got question marks. I mean, there's not one team that you can just look at and go, yep, they're gonna be a winner. Yep, they're going to the playoffs. I mean, all four of these teams got question marks. So when CBS Sports says that the NFC East is the worst division in all football, you gotta agree. You can't deny that. But let us not forget, all right, the NFC East, all right. There's been 52 Super Bowls, all right. The NFC East has won 13 out of the 52. That's 25% of all Super Bowls have been won by the NFC East. So the NFC East, not lately, but in the past, have been super duper superior. Okay, 1970s. All right, there was 10 Super Bowls in the 1970s. The NFC East went to 6 out of the 10. All right, 1970, 1971, the Cowboys won. 1972, the Redskins won. 1975, 1977, 1978, the Cowboys went. Right? In the 80s, right, there were 10 Super Bowls. The NFC East went to 5 of them. 1980, the Eagles went. 1982, 1983, the Redskins went. 1986, the Giants went. 1987, the Redskins went. In the 90s, there were 10 Super Bowls. The NFC East went to 5 of them. Okay? 1990, the Giants went. 1991, the Redskins went. 1992, 1994, 1995, the 92, 93, and 95. I'm sorry, the Cowboys went. All right, so we went to 5 in the 90s. All right, so between those 30 Super Bowls from 1970 to 1999, those 30 Super Bowls, the NFC East went to 16 of them. All right, so the NFC East was number one before, and we're going to get there again. I promise you. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants!